country, what about me?
In Nigeria, we have a fragile network. And because we have fragile network, then any little obstruction in the system, it will trigger off the network, then system collapse. How do I mean? The capacity of transmission company to wield power is not much. They are talking about 4,000 megawatts or 5,000 megawatts. But in natural sense, they cannot wield 4,000 megawatts consistently for 2 or 3 hours. So we now find out a situation whereby, yes, the generation companies have generated, moved them into national grid, but for the national grid to evacuate, it becomes a problem. That's why when you visit some of the control rooms in any of the generation companies, the control center keep on asking them either to shut down one unit or to shut down the other unit, just to make sure that they are able to balance the load so that it will not affect the network. You know, ordinarily, the scenario is that if you have, for instance, 7,000 megawatt generation capacity, you should be able to have something above that, either 8,000, 9,000, or 10,000 megawatt transmission capacity. And of course, when you come down to the third chain, which is distribution, you should also be able to have something higher than the 2 legs earlier mentioned. So that if you have that kind of scenario, whatever is generated, transmission will be able to absorb it conveniently. And distribution will also be able to absorb them conveniently for the general public to use.
What a country, what about me?
Well, it may be painful to hear, but the truth is yes. The truth is yes. It's not something you can overcome overnight. You have to inject more facilities. You have to inject things like power transformers. You have to make sure the connectivity of the transmission lines are not those things. You have to work on them so that there will be a robust interconnection between one side and the other. And by so doing, you are gradually increasing the capacity. And that's the only way, increasing the capacity with a view to have a stable and consistent capacity level. So if you have it that way, then whatever is coming in, then you'll be able to balance it on the. But as it is today, I can tell you that we have not seen the end of system collapse. That much I know. You have capacity to produce and earn money, but you are being limited. And you know that most of this, their operation, for instance, if you are running a Genco, you are not able to generate more to sustain that, then obviously your operation will be affected one way or the other. Then, and that will not encourage you in the business. Then for the general economy, of course, you know that power is central to development. When you have power, people can now engage themselves, people can challenge themselves. But if you don't have the power, then it becomes a problem. So in a situation where the reliability is questionable, then it has a far-reaching implication. Going alternatively to use generator instead of using public power for critical operation means an additional cost to your business, because you have to run those generators on diesel. And of course, you and I know what it costs to have a liter of diesel now, over 800 naira per liter. So it has a far-reaching implication, which invariably increase the cost of operation or production, and increasing the corporate operation and production means that those costs will be transferred to the poor masses, consumers. For instance, in the electricity sector, before, if you buy 10,000 watts of electricity, it gives you about 191 units. As we speak today, I recharged yesterday. What I now have is 171 units, less than what it used to be before because of adjustment in tariff. So these are the implications for the wider. So we cannot talk of any meaningful development. Go to area people are running on generator, and of course it is also in the news. Some big companies are even shutting down, relocating. So it's a big problem which I think this government should have been able to tackle ab initio when they came in, but unfortunately, I don't know, they didn't.
What a life, what a world, what a country, what about me?
Yes, to increase the capacity of the company. I also do know that the federal government, through FGN Power, that's the project with Siemens of Germany, they are also working along that line to improve capacity. I think recently they've just got to inspect some transformers, power transformers that will be brought before the end of this year and will be installed in various transmission substations across the country. So that one will help to boost the capacity. And if it boosts the capacity, it will reduce losses. And if it will reduce losses, then why being that? You see, you don't have to stop. You have to initiate other projects. You cannot say that because you have temporarily stabilized the system, then you go to sleep. You have to initiate that project. Federal government should also try. There are so many projects within the Niger Delta Power Holding Company, which also require that they should be brought up. And if all these ones are brought up, and there is synergy among the players, because what I discovered that everybody want to play on their own part. It shouldn't be. The common goal that is to deliver power to Nigeria. Either you are Genco, either you are Disco, either you are TCN, either you are policy making level. The objective is to deliver power to everybody's home. So in that was, nobody should try and feel as if, you can work in isolation. There should be synergy. And government cannot run away completely, because if you notice the kind of discussion we're having concerning privatization and not privatization now, it means that the private companies that are now in the saddle may not have they don't have the capital to do the business as it were. So government has to inject a lot of money to be able to, do the necessary investment in the power sector and get things done. Because if you are asking the private sector to take the lead, at the end of the day, it's going to affect tariff. Of course, some Nigerians believe that even if the tariff is high, provided they have the light, they don't have problem.
Every time, every day, every night, people talk about injustice. Injustice that breeds suffering in the world. People complaining about lack and limitation, stagnation, no job, no food, no life.
Yeah, you know, I was discussing with one of my senior colleagues recently. You know, in Nigeria, we like to live large. You know, when the privatization exercise was being floated, and some of the big guys, quote and unquote, went to see what those companies were posting for something billion every month and all those things. Everybody felt that when they enter the business, that's what they are going to do. They are going to. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. They are expected to do some investment, real investment, and it has a long-term gestation period before you start reaping this thing. But what did you see? You went to borrow money to invest, and now when you come, you are not even upgrading your facilities. You are not even increasing the facilities in your area. Some areas are this thing. You are neglecting some customers because if you like it or not, government has not completely hands up. Government still believe that they have a responsibility to provide light to Nigerians. So it's a mixture of philanthropic service at the same time business. So those who came in did not possibly take that right to cognizance. And according to investigation, they live large. So we have not even been able to stabilize your operation. We are living large. Fault clearance is a problem among virtually all the discos. And up to now, if you don't have meter and you cannot buy one, it's either in darkness or you are in with the staff of any of the disco and start using free light. Not like that. We travel abroad now. Who plays with lights overseas? Nobody. Okay. Nobody plays with light because they pay what they are supposed to pay. So for the bankers, well, they have to secure their money. Don't blame them.
Injustice that breeds suffering in the world. People complaining about lack and limitation. Stagnation. No job, no food, no life.
Yeah. Yes. What I think that if they are in control, what I expect them to do is to get. We have so many experts around. You can hire, you can poach. So somebody that can work for you, and you give like I said, you give that person a timeline. So they should be able to supervise those people efficiently, so that they can deliver on this. And those people should be able to understand their network. Because in actual sense, there are a lot of confusion. But you need somebody who really understands the network. I remember when I was in service, there are some distribution companies that NDPSC we built a substation which ordinarily is meant to ease the operation. Because if you have a substation in a particular area, then that will increase the power supply to that area and all too. But because they perceive that such area is no money yielding, the people that reside in those areas will not be paying much. They will reject such substations and they will remain idle. So any person that is serious in business and we want to make money should be able to sit down and think, how do I put this facility into use so that I can generate money? On board 7.5 years ago, in one of his speeches, he promised that he was going to increase generation capacity by 1,000 megawatts every year. That was what he said. And that time I said, this man is joking. There's no way he can increase power generation by 1,000 megawatts every year because we don't have that kind of money. And at least I can say categorically today that what I saw then was right. But they have not really increased the power 100 megawatts, 1,000 megawatts every year. We are still worrying about, realistically, we are still worrying about 6,000 to 7,000. The 13,000 capacity are just installed. They are not available. And what is not available, you cannot capitalize on it.
Okay, so
the incoming administration should be able to at least focus on power, look at the low-hanging fruits, the units that need to be repaired, just like Obasanjo did when he came on board earlier, all the shutdown generation plants, rehabilitated them, and they were able to raise capacity. So these people, the incoming government should be able to do that and address it quickly. And while doing that, other new investment and we go on. That's for me is the way out. But that we are going to have any magic between now and May next year, I doubt it all.
What a life, what a world, what a country, what about me? Every time, every day, every night, people talking about injustice.